Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today we're going to be talking about the Houston Texans potentially trading up and drafting Texas offensive lineman, offensive tackle Kelvin Banks. I think this would be interesting for the Houston Texans, especially after some of the offensive linemen they've already added in. You got Titus Howard, who should be a tackle this year for the Texans. They've added in Cam Robinson, have made other additions to the offensive line, adding in a lot of veterans. But tonight they could make another addition to the offensive line, bringing in Kelvin Banks. It would be very interesting for the Texans to add in the Texas Longhorn. As a Longhorns fan who's also a Texans fan, I love to see it, but it would take a very hard trade up for the Houston Texans to trade up. And the trade down they just made, I think, could play into the Texans trying to move up in the first round. The Texans traded their 5th round pick, which is pick 166, and a 5th round pick in 2027 for 3 picks. Pick 179, 215, and 255. So they turned 2 picks, which one of those picks was not until 2027, for 3 picks that are all in this weekend's draft. And I think that can be a play in potentially trying to trade up, having extra draft picks to move away, like the Texans do now after the trade they just made with the Browns. And it just, the only question is, where do you have to move up in the first round to get Kelvin Banks? Funny enough, I was at the dentist today, and I was talking to my dentist about, the draft, and he said that he had just saw a mock draft of someone has Kelvin Banks Jr. going 6 to the Raiders. I don't know if that's likely. I think the Raiders are more likely to pick Ashton Genty at 6. But Banks is viewed as a guy that can be top 10, and if not top 10, I don't think there's a lot of people that see Kelvin Banks going outside of the top 15. And so that's where the Texans are in the position where you're going to have to trade up probably inside the top 15, if not higher, to land Kelvin Banks Jr. if that's the guy they are really interested in. And I think this would be like a Deshaun Watson type trade up. And it's actually funny enough, the Texans are at the same spot at 25 in this year's draft as where they were in 2017 when they traded up for Deshaun Watson. This is really funny. So the Texans had 25 in 2017 when they trade up for Watson. If I remember correctly, I want to say the Texans trade up to 12. They trade up to 12 to get Watson, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I beg you to correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe it was 25 to 12 the Texans went when they trade up for Watson. That's probably around the spot you would have to get to if you want to draft Banks. I don't know if drafting up to like the 13 to 15 area guarantees you Banks. 12, trading up to 12 might get you Kelvin Banks if that's the guy the Texans want. But you've got and the good thing, you've got a lot of other draft picks you can include. The Texans, with the Lermy Tunsil trade, they've got extra draft picks. They've got a 2nd round pick in this year's draft. They've got 2/3. They've got all these other picks they've just added in from the Browns trade. They've got picks in next year. They've got, I want to say they've got an extra second. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've got an extra 2nd round draft pick next year from the Lermy Tunsil trade. So they've got 2 2nd round picks in next year's draft. They could use one of those 2nd round picks in a trade up. They've got a lot of assets they could use in a trade up. We'll see if they do it though. And Kelvin Banks, I think, is the guy they're trying to hunt for if they do it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out. Go Texans.